welcome to the channel. For the best part of a year, we've been waiting for the Le Mans circuit, and in this latest update, Reza launches two variations of the circuit. The incredible level of detail with further optimization of the AI is only just scratching the surface, with some of the very best day to night to day and weather transitions available on this iconic French circuit. I'm going to go into detail with an in-depth look at the two new circuits and the two new classes, and the further additional improvements across updated championships, new point system, updated visuals, enhanced graphics, AI changes, vehicle updates and driver swaps. Feel free to leave comments below, and please like and subscribe if you want to see more content. But first, let's have a read of some of the comments. The BMW M4 is absolutely amazing. It will be my go-to GT3 car for sure. In the end, that was one of the best online racing experience I've had. A prototype flashing you down on the Mulsanne is a special feeling, and you've nailed it. Congrats to the team. I never thought I would enjoy Le Mans at all because I found it kind of boring in other games I've driven, but now I can't stop racing multi-class rain at nights. I had another race against AI. I was chased by two LMDh going left and right, zigzagging at its best, but the very best was the AI was following me looking for a slipstream. I've realised that the BMW M4 now has ultraviolet lights on the roof, imitating the purple lighting. Nice one, Reza. Had a chance to drive the LMDh cars today. They're awesome, love them both at Long Beach and Le Mans, and they drive pretty much how I expected them to from seeing them on TV and in real life. Great job, Reza. But first, the updates. When setting up a championship, we now have pre-programmed championships across a vast array of classes, as you can see here. This includes pre-programmed championships for Formula Vintage, Retro, Formula Classic, High-Tech, V12, V10, Reza Ultimate, Stock Car Brazil 79 to 2023, Copper, Sprint Race, P-Cup, GT1 Group C and BMW M1 and Pro Car. That means all these cars get a preset rules-based championship, taking the guesswork on timing and setting up events. Previously, there was a limited number of championship points available, so setting up a realistic Formula 1 1980s point system was impossible. But now you can set up your own series in a custom championship for the majority of classes. This means that for Formula 1 1993, for example, you can get realistic points for the first 6 drivers. They've also added sprint race points for the modern F1, which you can set up in the championship series. Reza has also adjusted the sparks from the under tray, as they've had the dynamics and the colorization adjusted. But how close to reality are they? How large were the under tray sparks in the F1 during the 1990, for example? Well, they were pretty extreme, as they are today as the ground effect cars kiss the ground. The updated tweaks from Reza softens the effect and improves the colours. The small improvements are an incremental adjustment, and they are looking to continue to optimise the effects for VR. We now also have improved raindrop visuals. The dynamics mean that the raindrops and rain streak textures have been remodelled to achieve denser raindrops. You can also see the changes when you're driving at speed as well. It's normal for the faster car that approaches a slower car in an endurance race that is lapping the car in front to flash their lights. It's not necessarily a sign of aggression, but a warning when in a long race it helps flag up the cars behind approach, which can always be a chaotic situation, especially at night. Reza has upgraded AI, which means they now flash their lights when they are approaching to overtake a lap car. This not only happens when they are looking to overtake you in a multi-class series, but also when they're lapping each other. leader lights have been added to the Porsche 991 RSR and the Corvette CAR in the GTE class. The leader lights indicate which cars are currently in the top 3 in the class. If you have one leader light on, you're currently in first in your class. 2 leader lights mean you're second, 3 lights mean you're third, and if they're all off it means you're fourth or below. Another new great feature is the addition of the working LED flag panel to higher grade tracks that feature them in real life. Initially, only green and full course yellow flags will be activated in the panel, but that will evolve in future updates to display local blue and yellow flags. Of course, Le Mans circuit sees the implementation first. The new GT3 Generation 2 cars feature the McLaren 720 S Evo, Mercedes AMG Evo 2023, BMW M4, Porsche 992 GT3R. The new McLaren 720S GT3 Evo improves on the pace-setting customer racing machine that has had many improvements over the 720S GT3 that is found in the AMS2 GT3 Gen 1 series. The light and immensely stiff carbon fibre monocoque 2 chassis structure and race-prepared version of the M840T 4-litre twin-turbo V8 engine continues to provide the power. This Evo car has improved aerodynamic performance with more overall downforce and shifts the overall balance forward and improves the car's performance, making it more consistent to drive. This BMW M4 GT3 that features in the new GT3 Gen 2 pack does not use a V8 engine that is in the previously launched and now renamed AMS2 GT3 Gen 1 series, which featured the BMW M6. This car is vastly different and is powered by a straight 6 engine with a 3-litre capacity and twin turbocharger. It generates up to 590 horsepower and is 40 kilograms lighter than the 8-cylinder engine previously used. The BMW understeers on corner entry, but it rotates incredibly well with careful throttle application. It's a very fun car to drive, and the car feels more nimble than its predecessor. The Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo is powered by a 550 horsepower, 6.2-litre naturally aspirated V8 engine that is mounted in front of the cockpit, giving the Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo a lighter rear end that requires constant management. Just like the rest of the GT3 classes, which the Mercedes AMG is pitched against equally through balance of performance, it's rear-wheel drive and featuring a 6-gear sequential gearbox. It also has traction control and ABS, just like the rest of the GT3 classes, but it's a bit more tail-happy out of corners, so you can rotate it a little more with the throttle, making it very nice to drive. The Porsche 992 GT3R made its debut in 2023 at the Daytona 24. The 992 GT3R builds on the significant success of Porsche's previously GT3, which is found in the AMS2 GT3 Gen 1 series. This car features a rear-wheel drive layout, though unlike its rival, it utilises a 4.2-litre flat-six powertrain, enlarged from the 4-litre unit found on the older cars. The rear-engine car has good traction at slow speed, with 565 horsepower and weighing in at approximately 1,250 kilograms. The car has a wider chassis and is significantly more aerodynamic, making this car more aggressive and easier to handle. The Porsche feels aggressively fast with a lot of front-end grip, and it's very stable out of corners due to the aero package. If you like an oversteery, pointy car, this is your choice. The LMDh cars, also known as the Le Mans Daytona Hybrid, represent the pinnacle in endurance prototypes. Reza have launched 3 cars: the Porsche 963, the Cadillac V Series R, and the BMW M Hybrid V8. These cutting-edge new cars are incredibly competitive because essentially the price to compete has come down by multiple millions of pounds, which means we're seeing more and more car brands coming into this category. The Porsche 963 is an LMDh sports prototype designed by Porsche and built by Fanatec to compete in the hypercar Grand Touring prototype, or GTP class, in the FIA World Endurance Championship and the IMSA Sports Car Championship respectively. The 963 name draws inspiration from the Porsche 956 and the Porsche 962 that raced in the 1980s. These cars also competed in the American and European racing series. This car is a 4.0 1.6 litre V8 twin turbocharged engine. Like all of these cars, they have a 50 kilowatt or 67 brake horsepower MGU supplied by Bosch. The Cadillac V LMDh is a sports prototype designed by Cadillac and built by Dallara. It's designed to the Le Mans Daytona regulation and debuted at IMSA Sports Car Championship at the season opener 24 Hours of Daytona. This car also contested the FIA World Endurance Championship in 2023. The engine is a 5.5 litre and is the largest engine of any of the GTP cars. The BMW M Hybrid V8 is a sports prototype racing car designed by BMW M and also built by Dallara. It's also designed to the Le Mans Daytona H regulation and debuted in the 2023 IMSA Sports Car Championship. It marks BMW's return to top-flight sports prototype racing since BMW's V12 LMR in 1999. The car will also contest the FIA World Endurance Championship from 2024 onwards. All three of these cars are fantastic to drive with a combination of ground effects and optimised downforce. Frames per second optimization. So basically only seeing what matters to increase FPS. Now for the first time you can run a high number of cars and full grids but also manage the computer's performance. By going into the settings menu you can set your full grid but mitigate some of the performance issues by reducing the number of cars rendered. This means that the cars you don't actually need to see won't be rendered, freeing up a lot of performance. This is particularly of interest for anyone using VR or lower spec PCs. With only 12 cars selected, this does mean you may not see all of the cars in front of you. Another interesting thing to note is when you save the replay, you will only see a maximum of 12 or the number of cars you've selected, which means you won't see the full grid on the replay. Don't worry, this is rectified by coming out of the replay, resetting the number of maximum cars visible, and then you can go back into the replay and you'll be back to a full visible grid. One thing you'll notice when you get in the car, there are LED panels that illuminate occasionally. The internal LMDh lights show progression of both sides of wheel slip in relation to the correct speed or expected speed of each car's wheels versus the axle. And it shows different ways the car is losing grip. They show the wheels locking up on braking and also losing grip on accelerating. When you brake and lock up the rear tyres, it will show yellow, and the front braking will show purple. Again, that may show unevenly on the dashboard depending on whether you're locking up the front left or the front right. On acceleration, when the wheels lose traction, the lights will illuminate blue. This is very helpful to know so you can balance and feather the throttle, or you can increase the traction control. If you lock the tyres, you can also release the brake bias to improve the balance of the car. In this update, we also get officially supported driver swaps using AI drivers, fixing previous inconsistent skill level compared to the other drivers in the session. Driver swaps are activated via the hood menu. To swap, just go into the hood and select driver swap. You can go into the pits, you can have a full pit stop or just the driver swap, and the AI will take control of your car. You want to end the session, go into the pit hood menu, select driver swap. The AI driver will go back into the pits for a pit stop. When the car's released, you will then be back in control. You now have a good excuse to set up longer races, which will allow you also to have a T-brake in the middle. With two new tracks in the layout, we've got Le Mans Bugatti layout and the Le Mans Circuit Le Sarthe, which is the 24-hour circuit. Let's take a look at the layouts for each of the circuits and discuss some of the features. The Bugatti circuit is a 4.185 km or 2.6 mile permanent racetrack located within the 24-hour circuit. It's a permanent circuit constructed in 1965 and is named after Ettore Bugatti. The circuit uses part of the larger circuit and a separate purpose-built section inside. Vehicles turning to the right at La Chapelle will continue to the Bugatti circuit. Le Mans Bugatti circuit has been very important to the Bugatti family since 1911, when the car finished second. The track was home base for Pescara Sport, founded by famous French driver Henri Pescara. The Bugatti circuit currently hosts the 24-hour Le Mans motorcycle race and a round for the MotoGP Championship. The circuit holds the French Motor Club races and in the past has hosted rounds of the International Formula 3000 Championship and DTM. The Bugatti circuit was used for the 1967 French Grand Prix, though it proved to be the only time the Formula 1 World Championship would use the circuit. But it is the host of the current French Motorcycle Grand Prix and also forms the final round of the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And it was also part of the World Renault Series featuring the open wheelers. As you go past start and finish, which is part of the smaller Bugatti circuit, you kiss the curb on the left hand side as you sweep to the right before you brake towards the Dunlop chicane. It's easy to brake too late here and lock the rear tyres, but if you get to the first apex, the second follows nicely. It's faster than you think and you can carry quite a lot of throttle through the second part of the track. Again, you don't want to clout the curb on the right hand side in the second part of the S's because it will put you in the outside wall which is close to the track. In Tetra Rouge you need to take care of the inside curb and use the outside curb to help turn the car. It's all about the exit. Hard on the throttle as you head down to the fastest part of the track. As you move through the gears, in the real 24-hour, this is where they will check the temperatures and the pressures, although their pit crews are watching all of these anyway nowadays. This also gives you a chance to take a view of the traffic ahead as you head towards the first chicane. Up to 85% of the lap is spent on full throttle, putting immense stress on the engine and drivetrain components. Additionally, the time spent reaching maximum speed also means tremendous wear on the brakes and suspension of the car, as it must be slowed down from over 322 km an hour or 200 miles an hour to around 100 km an hour or 62 miles an hour for the sharp corner at the village of Morsain. As you go down to Mulsanne Corner, which has changed a lot over the years, you can go straight over the curb and roll the car through and drive all the way along the exit curb to get the best exit speed. As you head down towards Indianapolis, this is narrower than the rest of the circuit. In real life, this is where most drivers are flashing to warn other drivers they're coming through. There's no time to make up in the first part of the Indianapolis curve. All the time is in the left-hander, but don't go wide near the gravel. Ideally you keep to the left at Arnage, borrow some left-hand curb on the way in and then roll the speed through. And the exit is all about traction. There's more space on the exit so you can use the full width of the track on the left as you build the speed down to the Porsche curves. As you head towards Porsche curves into karting, if there's a car ahead of you and you're feeling brave, you can pass around the outside of this, but try not to brake too much, as this can unsettle the rear. Drivers have said this used to be the most frightening part of the track, but now there's a lot more space on the left and across the middle. After Maison Blanche and the little chicane known as the Corvette, you're heading towards a forward chicane at the end of the lap. You brake about where the pit lane begins, as far to the right hand side as possible. The trick is to get the car into the first part of the chicane by going right over the first left hand curb, because there's a nasty lip on the front of the right hand curb which can damage the car, which gives you the best exit as you head towards the start finish line. The Le Mans Trap Pack and the new GT3 and LMDh cars are just parts of the Endurance Trap Pack. A second Trap Pack will be out in 2024 with more cars from both classes, but also new content from the GTE, LMP2 and LMP3 classes, we hope, with a promise of Latin flavour. Further down the road, Reeza said we can expect to travel back in time for historical versions of Le Mans, along with cars that made history at the event. Remember, if you like the content, please like and subscribe. Please leave a comment in the box below. Thanks for watching.